So some definitions. So the first one that I want to go through is what's called opportunity cost. Now remember what we just did. We just defined econ. Faced with scarcity, we have to make choices. What are the best choices we should make? That's where econ comes in. Now here's the idea behind opportunity cost. When individuals make choices, something is given up. That's the nature of a choice. You have a list of stuff, A, B, C, D, E, and you choose A, B, and C. It means you gave up D and E. So when individuals make choices, something is given up. Now here's the opportunity cost. The cost of the next best alternative is called opportunity cost. Whenever we make a choice, something is given up. That thing that we gave up, the next best thing, that's the opportunity cost associated with our choice. Make a choice, you choose something, you didn't choose something. The thing that you didn't choose, the next best thing, that's the opportunity cost associated with your actions. This is a very important concept in econ. Oftentimes when we want to value something, we don't just look at the sticker price associated with it. If we want to, bless you, if we want to figure out what something is really worth, oftentimes in econ, what we look at is what was given up in order to achieve it. So we're going to use this concept a lot in this course. The cost of the next best alternative is called opportunity cost. I'll give you an example. Time is very limited, which means anytime you choose to undertake an activity, you're giving up something. Yeah? So, the opportunity cost for me right now, teaching this class, somebody who goes to bed early is sleeping. That's the next best thing for me. The opportunity cost for somebody else, the next best thing, might be different. It might be getting ready to go to the movies. For some people, it might be time at the gym, exercising. Good for you. Every time we make a choice, something is given up. What is that thing that we gave up? Is the opportunity cost. And this is going to pop up a lot in this course. In fact, as students, there's something that I want to kind of point out to you. Some statistics that I was looking at that kind of bring into the limelight this concept of opportunity cost. As an individual, young person or whatever, or an individual entering the workforce, you have a choice to make. So you want to become a full-time worker, you kind of have a choice to make. The particular thing that I want to point out is, when you decide to enter the workforce, you can decide to enter the workforce as a full-time worker with just your high school diploma. That's your choice. It's the beauty about living in a capitalist economy. Free to do whatever you want to do. So you can choose to enter the workforce as a full-time worker with just your high school diploma. No bachelor's degree. Now here's the thing, when you do that, you give up something. When you do that, you walk away from something. We have quantified that. We have figured out that you're losing certain amount of money in terms of lost wages. So economists have quantified what you lose in terms of lost wages when you decide to enter the workforce without getting your bachelor's degree. Annually, as an individual, working on average, so on average per year, how much money do you think you give up, you lose, when you decide to work with just your high school diploma, no bachelor's degree? On average, how much money do you think that is, that you give up? Yeah?
Like something like 80% of your overall income.
Which is how much in terms of an amount per year?
I think the average person's income in their lifetime is 2.5 million with a bachelor's degree or something like that.
So this is annually?
Yeah. Oh, annually?
Yes.
30,000.
I think it's about 30,000?
No, what you're losing?
Yes, yeah. What you are losing.
Probably close to 70,000.
70,000 per year?
It's $1 million in a lifetime. I think it was something like 1 or 2 million in a lifetime, so it's probably 25,000-30,000.
I think it's about 25,000-30,000 per year. You're agreeing? 40,000. Not feel like I'm at one of those places with a bit. 40,000. On average, when you choose to enter the workforce with just your high school diploma, on average, yearly you lose about $15,000 to $20,000 per year. That's on average.
15 what?
15 to 20,000. That's a good chunk of change. And especially when you compound that over your lifetime, that's a lot of money you're walking away from. In fact, when you decide to enter the workforce with just your bachelor's degree, not a master's, how much money do you think you walk away from then? So now you have the bachelor's, but not a grad degree, a master's. How much money? Do you think it's more?
No, less.
You think it's more? How much do you think it is?
Probably 20,000.
5 to 10,000.
Probably 10.
It's about $10,000 to $12,000 per year. Yeah? Again, as individuals, we make choices. And when we make choices, something is given up. Next best thing, that's opportunity cost associated with your decision. As I said, in this class, we're going to be using opportunity cost quite a bit. Because we're going to use it to kind of figure out the worth of certain things. Not just the sticker price, but what was given up. That's usually what we use in a lot of stuff in econ to figure out the value of a particular good, service, or choice. Okay? Another term that I want you to get used to that we're going to be using. So here's another term that we're going to be using. And this one is called rational behavior. Rational behavior in econ is this: when individuals pursue actions to satisfy their own self-interest. And that is not the same thing as being selfish. Rational behavior is when we observe individuals undertaking action to satisfy their own self-interest. And I'll explain what I mean. Let's say, for example, to explain rational behavior, I observe Javier eating an apple. So let's say I observe Javier and he's eating an apple. If Javier is a rational individual and I observe him eating an apple, I can assume that he gets satisfaction or pleasure from eating that apple. If he did not, he would not be eating it because he's rational. If it is, I observe Javier eating an apple. So he's eating an apple, he finishes that apple, passes the core, and he starts to eat a second apple. Because he's a rational individual, I can assume that the first apple did not give him enough satisfaction. That's why he moved on to the second one. Because he's rational, I can assume that about his behavior. In this course, we're only going to be studying rational individuals. We do not have the tools at this level to study irrational behavior. So we're going to assume all the agents in this course, they're rational. When they undertake actions, it's to satisfy their own self-interest. So if it is Rasil tells me that he wants to open a business, he tells me he wants to open a business, and he tells me that he wants to make profits. If he's a rational person, I can assume that since he wants to make profits, he's not there to make a little bit of profits. He's not there to make some profits. If he's a rational person, and he has a business to make profits, he's there to make the maximum amount of profits possible. We're going to assume that the agents in this course are rational. And the reason why we're doing this is we want to be able to predict people's behavior. If they're not rational, we can't predict what they're going to do next. In this course, we're going to need to assume that. And when we assume they're rational, then we can predict what they're going to do next. So an underlying assumption for the topics that we do is that the agents are rational.